All right, we're now joined by the Nova Scotia Premier Stephen McNeil. Premier, thank you for joining us this morning, and we're so sorry about what the province is going through.
Thanks very much. The outpouring of affection from across the country and real around the globe has been heartwarming, but as for us as a province, but for these families, and as you know, the list continues to grow, and the impact has been felt wide, and will continue to be felt even wider when we start hearing about the individual stories behind each one of these families.
Let's start with the officer who was injured. Is there any update on that officer?
Not to my knowledge. That would be something for the RCMP.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the victims. We know one to be an RCMP officer of 23 years and another a teacher. It's such a complicated scene, but what more have you been told about at least these two victims?
Nothing more than you would have heard. I think what compounds this from a provincial point of view is each one that you've described themselves belong to large organizations. One, if you know, both of them had been involved with students, one teaching, the other being an RCMP officer who would be part of a school community. So the heartache that individual families are feeling permeates much deeper into their friends and profession. The teaching community is a close-knit one here in Nova Scotia, as well as law enforcement, and I can tell you all of them are feeling this right to their core. And on top of that, how do we explain this to children? Oftentimes when we have loss, we can describe it. But how do you describe this to the children of these families?
Tell me a little bit about Portapique, the small community where this all began.
Well, it's like many small communities in our province. If you go down along the shores along the Bay of Fundy, near Bass River, a great village economy along the shore. It's not unlike many rural communities in Nova Scotia, and I would probably argue in many coastal communities in Canada. Everyone knows everyone. It's picturesque, generational families. We now are in a situation where many people have cottages there, and they come in and the population swells in the summer months. And you never expect anything like this. It's a place where you have, a strawberry supper, and everyone who shows up knows each other. And this horrific tragedy it's just unbelievable that it would happen anywhere but there. And my hope, quite honestly, and our mission as a province and as communities is that we're not going to allow this to define us, and it will not rob us of what makes this province special.
How do people grieve, Premier, in this time, considering you've now also got COVID-19 measures, and it's already that difficult time for people?
Well, it's an extremely difficult time. One of the heartaches of COVID-19 was you weren't able to hold your hand of a loved one, or you weren't able to properly memorialize them. This now in such a large number of people, it'll be difficult for us to be able to try to heal the province as we surround ourselves around the communities. As you know, everyone, whether you knew one of the victims or not, your heart is broken, and our province is reaching out the best way we know how, and I'm sure there will be innovative ways to do, but it's my hope the Canadians continue to pray for the families and continue to offer them that kind of support, and we will look at opportunities to how do we best support them.
I know you woke up yesterday after all of this was sort of wrapping up and thought, wow, I never imagined something like this could happen. Now it's been another 24 hours. Has it sunk into you? How are you doing?
There's no way to kind of the layers of this horrific tragedy is unbelievable. The innocence of people going about their daily lives, people not knowing the potential shooter, all of those things just add to it. So much that we don't know. But the fact that it happens here and in a community and just so tragic, so much promise and hope in our victims. So many people in the midst of their career, midst of shaping our province, shaping the future of their families, raising children, expecting grandchildren.
Yeah, it's a difficult, difficult time. Premier, thank you for your time, sir. Again, our hearts are with you as you process and go through the difficult day with with members of that province. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.